Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to One Thing for Certain. As you can see, my brief retirement didn't last very long. Um, Let me just say that I appreciate the messages because a lot of y'all took my message to heart on my last video when I said, hey, I might not post a video, but if you need to talk to me, you can message me. Boy, have y'all messaged me. And I talked to several of y'all the last probably couple of weeks about different situations. And I tell you, I learn more and more about relationships with this channel. When I talk to different couples and different things they're going through, uh, it makes me think about a lot of stuff. And I just want to, first of all, thank you guys for always for supporting the channel. It's amazing that the feedback, the comments, and everything I get, and just people randomly checking in, saying, "Hey, how's everything going?" So again, I wanted to say thank you. I also wanted to say a special thank you to Spicy26. She messaged me, and her boyfriend were going through a. They hadn't broke up yet, but they were going through a bit. They were back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Just didn't know if they were going to stay together. Didn't know if they were going to break up, and so I asked her. I said, "Do you mind FaceTiming?" Because the messaging back and forth was taking forever. I said, "You mind FaceTiming? Let's talk about what's going on." And she said, "Yeah." So we were FaceTiming, and we were talking about her issue with her boyfriend. And I thought about something, and I said, "I'm gonna ask you a question. I want you to think about it." And she said, "Okay." I said, "If you woke up tomorrow, you couldn't call him, you couldn't text him, you couldn't see him on Facebook, Instagram, anything, couldn't reach out to him, how'd you feel?" She said, "What do you mean?" I said, that's a simple question. How would you feel?" I said, "Would it bother you?" She said, "Of course it would bother me." I said, "Why?" She said, "Because we talk so much and we experience so much." I'm like, "Okay, I get all that." But I said, "My point that I'm trying to make is you're talking about how you would feel if you couldn't talk to this guy anymore, right? If he completely fell out of your life, how would you feel?" I said, "So if that's how you feel, that you would hate it and you wouldn't like it, then fix it. Fix it. It's that simple." I said, because a lot of the stuff that you're naming, you know, it was the same. And it reminded me when I went into marriage counseling when I was going through my divorce. And the marriage counselor looked at my wife. My ex wife was naming this stuff that she didn't think I was doing right and doing wrong. And the marriage counselor was like, "Well, sweetheart, everything you're naming, every couple in America goes through that." She said, "Half of the stuff you just named, my husband does." She was like, "But that's not a reason to want a divorce." And I told her the same thing yesterday. I said, "You need to think about what I just asked you. If you're that miserable or you that mad about it, then just end it." But something tells me you don't want to because you don't want to face the fact that I just asked you. What are you gonna do? So later on that night, she messaged me back and she told me that um, they were working on their issues. And I said, "All right." I said, "That's good." So I thought that was a very interesting conversation. That's probably as long as I've had this channel, that's probably the only time I've actually FaceTime somebody. I know it's been a couple of times. I'm sorry, it's been a couple of times. But anyway, let me jump right into the night's topic because this was a tough one for me, and I really didn't know. I need you guys to let me know if I gave this person the right advice. But before I do, special shout out to my VA rep Alex. A lot of y'all probably already know because I mentioned it before. I'm an Army veteran, and my VA rep has been helping me out the last probably week and a half with some stuff I'm working on. And yesterday he came through with flying colors. So I told him he's a subscriber to the channel. So special shout out to Alex. Thanks, man. You are the best. Um, so let's jump into the night's topic. Oh, one more shout out, Quentin, my homeboy. Your birthday's in April. Birthday cruise. I haven't forgot you. Can't wait. So tonight's topic is very interesting. And again, I don't know personally if I gave them the right advice. You guys don't have any problem. Y'all have no problem telling me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, please message me. Leave a comment under the video. Message me. So this young man is got a girlfriend. They haven't been dating that long. They've only been dating for I think he said about a month. Well, he just found out that she lives with her ex boyfriend. Now, I thought that was interesting, and apparently it's making him uncomfortable because she doesn't want him to come over because she says she doesn't want any drama. And he wants to know what I think about that. I gotta take a deep breath on. I gotta take a deep breath on this because this is probably one of the toughest questions I've had on this channel. So you're dating someone that lives with their ex-boyfriend. Again, I'm not. My advice on this might be wrong. I know a lot of y'all have told me that I'm pretty much right almost every time I made a suggestion. But this is one time I'm kind of asking for y'all feedback. Tell me if I gave you right advice or not. My advice is this: if you trust her, then it shouldn't be a problem. I know it's a little. It's probably tough because going to sleep at night wondering what's going on over there at the house, it's got to be tough. But I would imagine now. I'm gonna say this part right here. I'm not thrilled with the fact that she's telling you that you don't need to come over. She don't want you to come over because she don't want any drama. Because if they're completely broke up, there shouldn't be any drama. Because I feel like this: if she moved in with him, now I don't know if they were already living together and broke up, or something might have happened where she had to move in with him. I don't know how that situation works. But my guess is they were probably already living together, broke up, and now at least she's dating somebody else. If that's a complete breakup and there's no problem, then you should be able to come over. If you can't come over, I think there's a problem. I think that's a problem. I think that's a red flag if you can't come over. Because if that relationship is now strictly platonic, then it shouldn't be a problem. Now, if I had to put myself in your shoes, I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could date somebody that lives with their ex. Because you can be exes all you want. Exes, hook up from time to time. Let's just be honest. It ain't like it ain't never happened. Exes hook up from time to time. Because they can be an ex all you want. But especially if it's, I had somebody tell me, they were telling me one time, they were trying to date this guy. And he had an ex, and they had been together for like 4 years or something like that. And I told her, I said, let me tell you something. I said, you need to pump the brakes because she's got a special place right now in his heart that you're not gonna be able to get over that right now. You're gonna have to give him time to get to where he needs to be before you try to get serious or whatever. I'm just being honest with you. So I just feel like unless she's giving you a reason not to trust her, and she's telling you nothing's going on and that's an ex, I say keep the relationship going. That's what I say. Now, but I also feel like if she's saying don't come over, I'll come to your house because I don't want any drama. If they are just friends and it's a living situation, it should not be drama if you come over. Unless, you get these exes. Listen, I had an ex, and my sister can verify this. We broke up, and we were friends. Because, like I said on this channel a million times, I'm friends with everybody I've dated. Whether it was a bad breakup, good break, we're still friends. I'm not a bitter person holding grudges against somebody. I don't. Life's too short to live like that. So we're still all friends. So when we broke up, we were still friends. We were still Facebook friends. We weren't texting every day or anything like that, but we were still friends. Every now and then she would reach out, say, hey, how's everything going? And I would do the same thing. But that was probably like every maybe 2 or 3 weeks we would do that. But we never talked every day. So one day she messaged my sister, told my sister, say, hey, could you let LA know that I had to unfriend him on Facebook and I had to block him. But it's nothing personal. It's just the guy that I'm dating now don't want me and him to be friends on Facebook. And I was just like, so my sister called me. She said, hey, she said she had to unfriend you and block you on Facebook. And I'm thinking to myself, I didn't do anything. I'm not bothering her. I'm just like, we're friends. But she said, she told my sister to tell me that we're still friends. It's just he didn't want me and her on Facebook together. And I'm like, that's so crazy to me. Like, you that insecure, man. I'm like, we don't even talk like that. But she was like, I respected that. I didn't get mad with her. I'm like, you know what? If that's what your man telling you to do, that's fine. I even respect the fact that you reached out and explained why you were unfriending me on Facebook. I thought that was weird to me. I could see if we were talking constantly to each other, but we weren't even talking. Like I said, every couple of weeks she would shoot me, and that wasn't even through Facebook. She would literally just shoot me a text because we still had each other's phone number. She would just say, "Hey, just thought I'd see how you doing, everything cool?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "How about you and the kids?" And she was like, "Yeah, we're good." And that was it. It wasn't, hey, we should get together sometime or nothing like that. So I don't understand what his big deal was about unfriending me on Facebook. Now, if this guy's her ex, and he's up here telling her, hey, I don't want nobody coming over here, there's lingering feelings there, and she needs to consider that, and you need to consider that. But I don't think it's a good idea. Well, I'm not going to say that. I don't think it's a good idea if you break up with somebody and you still trying to dictate what they do after you break up. That's a problem. And I think this guy's trying to dictate what. Now, she's not necessarily doing anything wrong, because you haven't told me she's done anything wrong. But clearly there's a dynamic there where he doesn't want her having people come over to the house. My question is, I would ask him, I would say, hey, is he dating somebody? Because I don't understand how that works. I'm just saying my advice. And again, you guys tell me if I'm wrong. Some of y'all ain't never had no problem telling me I was wrong. Because boy, that one video I made about the guy and the Facebook post, y'all lit my box up telling me, oh, he was wrong, he was right. So listen, at the end of the day, I would ask that question. I would ask, what is the dynamic with those two? But again, my conclusion is, if she hasn't done anything wrong, if you don't think there's nothing going on between those two, then fine, I wouldn't break up. I'm not an advocate of petty breakups over silly stuff. And unless she's done something wrong, then I wouldn't end the relationship. But the problem is, how can you tell if something's right or wrong? You don't even know if she's done anything wrong. You don't know what's going on inside that house. Now, you need to also consider this. If it's bothering you, you might want to look at that. You might want to look at how you feel about that. Because clearly it's bothering you because you reached out to me. Are you okay with your current girlfriend living with her ex-boyfriend? Like I said, I couldn't do it. I'm just being completely honest with you. I couldn't do it. I mean, hell, if I had to, I'd let her move in with me if she didn't have anywhere to stay. But I would be uncomfortable with her living with her ex-boyfriend. That's just how I feel about it. But again, if she hasn't done anything wrong and you want this relationship to work, then give it a chance. Don't break up with her simply because she's living with her ex-boyfriend. Because like I said before, I'm not a fan of a petty breakup or something like that. So I really would think, unless something major is going on, I would really consider thinking to yourself, am I okay with her living with the ex-boyfriend? That's what I would ask. So, like I said, I could be wrong on that advice. It's probably some of y'all looking at this video right now saying, no, I couldn't do that. And you're not. I'm not saying there's a right or a wrong answer. Again, this is an opinion channel. I only give you what my opinion is, and my opinion is I would keep the relationship going unless she's done something wrong. Unless she's done something wrong, I'm not gonna sit here and end the relationship because she's living with her ex-boyfriend. Now, like I want to add in there again that I do have a problem with the fact that she's saying there would be drama if you came to the house. Because if that relationship is strictly platonic, there should not be any drama if you come to the house. So think about that. A lot of these relationships, people pull the trigger way too fast on these relationships without thinking this through and all this other stuff and looking for petty reasons to break up. And I'm not saying you're looking for a petty reason to break up, but I'm saying you're uncomfortable with her living situation because you clearly don't want to break up with her. That's why you want to know what I think. Don't if she hasn't done anything wrong, then don't break up with her. But y'all do need to have a conversation on why she feels like it's gonna be drama if you come over to the house. I don't necessarily think there should be drama if it's a platonic relationship. But that's also something that should have been discussed when they broke up and she continued to live there. Saying, hey, is it okay if we see other people? Are we going to be allowed to see other people? That should have been cleared up before they made that arrangement. So think about that. But again, I wouldn't necessarily end this relationship because of that. It's just don't be so fast to pull the trigger on something like that. The whole purpose of my channel really is to I prefer to try to save these relationships and really based through for the last year and a half, I've saved a lot of relationships, and it makes me feel really good because look, man, love doesn't come around very often for a lot of people. Let's be honest. I think I said a long time ago, I've only been in love 3 times. 3 times in my entire lifetime. I don't say it very often unless I'm saying it to family. So it's it's a very precious thing. So I look for reasons on this channel to save relationships. I look for reasons on this channel, like, you know what? Do you like I told a girl earlier? Do you want to be without him? How would you feel if you could not contact him anymore? He was completely out of your life. The minute she said it would tear her up, she already knew what she needed to do. So think about that. Don't just rush to judgment and break up because she lives with her ex. Talk about that and see if there's some other arrangement can be made. Something if it's making you uncomfortable. But with that being said, I want to thank the Delta sorority because a couple of you ladies reached out to me yesterday and we talked, and that's what made me say, you know what, I'm gonna bring my videos back. And I appreciate you guys talking, because we were just really just talking. It was nothing in particular, and they were just asking me about, hey, you really need to come back to the videos because I got some friends that's got some issues. So I thank you guys for the conversation. You guys are great. Again, shout out to the Deltas. But with that being said, until the next video, you guys stay safe. Big snowstorm coming here in North Carolina for the ones that subscribe and you're from North Carolina, or so we think. So better get to the grocery store before all the milk and bread is gone. All right, so again, man, until next time, you guys are great. I love everybody. Talk to you next time.